If you're looking for valuable information of how to get your products into stores, then stay tuned. I've got a lot of information for you. Hey guys, it's Lee Marie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video because I get a lot of questions asked about how to get your products into stores. So today I'm going to be going through 3 different methods and the pros and cons of each method of how to get your products into stores. Okay, so briefly I'll go over the 3 different sections I'll be going through today. The first one is trade shows. The second is physically, actually reaching out to boutiques yourself. And the third is online wholesale platforms. So one of the questions I get asked the most often is about trade shows, and are trade shows worth it? And it kind of depends. One thing I will say is that trade shows are very expensive. You're looking at an investment of anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per show. You heard that correctly, $8,000 to $10,000. A lot of things go into a trade show. The first thing obviously is your booth fee. Booth fees can range anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. That's for a standard 10 by 10 booth. On top of that, to decorate the booth, usually you have to use their union labor, which, can be anywhere from a few $100s to even more for them to put up shelving or to paint your unit, to put down flooring. Then you have to think about your products and how you're going to get them there, usually via freight if the trade show is not in your home state. Then you have to ship your products to the trade show. That can run into the hundreds, even the low thousands. Then, of course, you have to think about, wholesale catalogs, order forms, business cards, pamphlets, things that you're going to want to hand out to buyers. And lastly, you're going to want to think about travel arrangements. So you've got to think about flights and hotels, food, things like that. So it really all adds up. You're looking at an investment of about $8,000 to $10,000. So is that $8,000 to $10,000 investment worth it? That depends. The one good thing about trade shows is that you do get in front of thousands of buyers at once. However, there is no guarantee that any of these buyers will take interest in your product or will even stop by your booth. So there definitely still is a lot of unknowns, but I do believe that trade shows, if you have the capital for it, and also if your brand is on point, like you've got your merchandising down, you've got your product boxes and your packaging, you have a wholesale catalog, you've got order forms, you're ready to go, your brand is an established brand, meaning you're not still rebranding or you're not still in the middle and you're unsure of where your brand is going. If your brand is solid and you have all that information already, then a trade show might be a good idea and a good investment for you. It does put you in front of a lot of buyers in a situation where you might not normally get the chance or the opportunity. Keep in mind, the buyers that go to these are the big buyers. So all of your department store buyers, Macy's, Nordstrom's, Saks, Neiman Marcus, Anthropologie, Urban Outfitters, West Elm, including thousands of independent boutiques. Those are the buyers that go to trade shows. Putting yourself in front of that many buyers at once is an amazing opportunity. And if you do it well and you do your research and you do it correctly, it could really pay off and change the landscape of your business. But if you are still just starting out, unsure of where your brand is going, not quite sure of your product line, you don't have a wholesale catalog yet, I would not look to invest in a trade show. It really is more for established brands that are looking to scale and grow. First thing I would do if you're interested in a trade show is see if there's any trade shows near you. There is a huge trade show in Atlanta. There are huge ones in Las Vegas, in Texas, and I believe LA as well. And then of course there's the big ones in New York City. So the 2 big ones in New York City are called New York Now and Shop Objet. Both shows take place twice a year, once in February and once in August. I'm really excited about these shows because I'm actually going. So by the time you see this on YouTube, I would have already gone. I will be flying out to New York in a few days, and I am going to both New York Now and Shop Objet. They happen at the same time. So New York Now runs from February 5th through the 8th this year, 2023. Shop Objet runs from February 5th through the 7th. So Shop Objet is 3 days, New York Now is 4 days, and they're both in Manhattan. They are at opposite ends of each other. So for kind of reference, if you're looking at Manhattan, the Javits Center, which is where New York Now is taking place, is on the west side of Manhattan, and then Shop Objet is taking place at Pier 36, which is like the southeast corner. So it's quite a long Uber ride, but I'm actually really happy because they have a shuttle that goes between both shows. So if you're a buyer, you can go between shows without having to pay an outrageous Uber bill. I've been to New York. Ubers are so expensive there. So saving any money you can is awesome. I am going, like I said, to both shows as a retailer. Since I have my own retail store, I am able to sign up as a retailer and go to these shows for free. I wanted to go because I want to do my due diligence. If I'm going to drop $8,000 to $10,000 on a show, I need to know what I'm getting myself into. And this to me seemed like the best thing to do. I'm interested in the August show. So right now in February, I'm going to go to the winter shows and I'm going to check them out. I want to see what's the layouts. What do the booths look like? How many people are there? Are there a lot of buyers there? What is the promotion that they do for the exhibitors? What kind of setup do they have for the buyers to entice them to come? Since I'm going to be in the role of a buyer, I want to look through the eyes of a buyer and see kind of what the experience is like for them, and then walk the show like a buyer. So I'm going to be looking at all the booths and the layouts and everything of both shows. Now, I will be documenting my journey to New York. However, filming inside the actual shows is prohibited. So I will not be able to film inside the actual shows. I may get a little snippet here and there with the permission of someone from their booth. However, actually filming inside the show is not allowed. So unfortunately, I can't show you what the inside of the show necessarily looks like, but I will definitely tell you afterwards if I think that the shows are worth it, if I thought that, you know, they did a great job of promoting the brands that were exhibiting, if I thought that it seemed like something really viable and worth doing for your business. So I will give you the lowdown on New York Now and Shop Objet. That will be the video after this one. When I come back from New York, I will give you all the gossip and let you know whether or not those shows are worth it, since they are such a big investment. Okay, so let's say that you decide to make the investment and you do a show like New York Now, Shop Objet, or any other trade show. The one thing you need to keep in mind is that you may not necessarily be writing orders that very day. You might meet a lot of buyers who will give you their information, but not necessarily place an order with you immediately. Be persistent and follow up with them via email. Make sure to send them all your information, interact with them. If you interacted with them at the booth, make sure to mention that in your email. Say it was lovely meeting you. Per your request, here is a digital version of our catalog. If you would like any free samples sent to your shop, let me know. And then again, just be persistent, because buyers are busy people. They may not immediately answer your emails. Sometimes it takes the third, fourth, or fifth email for them to respond to you. It's nothing personal. Just keep that in mind, that you need to be persistent. But that is one great thing about these shows, is not only do you meet all these buyers, but at the end you will get a list of their contact info so you can follow up with them. So that is a huge thing, to be sure to follow up with everybody that you meet at the show and everybody that you get on the list that you think would be a good fit for your brand. Another great thing about trade shows is, at least the ones that I've seen, they basically make a digital marketplace online that the buyers can go and interact with brands directly before the show. That's really awesome because it gives the opportunity that you could be, attending, you could be an exhibitor at the show, and before the show even starts, you could have shops and boutiques that are already interested in your product. So that is great that these shows allow you to do that, and they allow the buyers to go in and interact with these brands online ahead of time. So you can almost make like appointments. You can say, yes, I'll see you at the show. I'll see you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. at my booth, and kind of make appointments with them and interact with them ahead of time. That is a great way of securing a, online or an order to be placed, is by interacting ahead of time with these buyers. Another thing that you want to make sure that you do is, if you are attending one of these shows, you have got to post it all over your social media. Make sure that you're following all the boutiques and stuff that you want to have your products in. See if they're going to the shows as well, and then make sure to slip into their comments and say, oh my God, awesome, we're gonna be at the show. I hope to see you there. So having this on social media is definitely something you should be thinking about, posting it everywhere you can to let buyers know you'll be at the show. And then again, if you see any of the shops that you're following are gonna be at the show, make sure to slip into their comments and say, I will be there, I will see you there. Even though I'm going as a buyer, I've already done that with some of the boutiques that I know that are going to be there, that they're going to be buying as well. I've slipped in their comments and said, awesome, I'm going to be there too. That's great. I will see you there. So making those interactions ahead of time is definitely a plus and is going to help you get those orders.